The budget of one area school district is on the mend, as the school board election is just 1 week away. A gunman in a truck causes chaos in America's largest city. And in sports, the Bobcats take on their arch rival for bragging rights tonight. Newswatch starts right now.
Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
And the Federal Hocking School District will choose who they want to fill 3 open spots on the school board next week. Good evening and happy Halloween. I'm Chelsea Sick. I took a look at the 4 candidates vying for the open seats on the Federal Hocking School Board, while the budget seems to be on the mend. Money. That's the theme that's connecting the 3 of the 4 school board candidates on the ballot November 7th. Carrie Sheridan Boyd says the district is headed in a great financial direction and students should remain at the forefront of financial decisions. She also hopes to improve transparency and communication between the community and school board. Sarah Brumfield says she wants to maintain Federal Hocking's budget and continue free education, meals, and field trips for all students. She would also like to explore the idea of offering gifted education into the school district, beginning with elementary level. Hazel Guess wrote on vote411.org that she wants to balance the budget with local taxes and make sure students have acceptable classrooms and equipment. She also says she wants to listen to all of those concerned with the school system and find the happy medium. Incumbent Lester Green will continue to focus on athletics and the athletic booster program he began almost 50 years ago. Federal Hocking School Board President Dan Torrance says it is important for everyone in the community to get out and vote, regardless if you have a student in the school district.
We were in fiscal emergency. We had a lot of issues with personnel. We were having to cut over $1 million out of the budget. And since then, we've been able to start adding back things and look at different programs. And so we've been doing that, and I would say that we would keep on doing that kind of things to bring back different structures and avenues for kids to be able to move on.
In talking with parents, they say the school board has helped the Federal Hocking School District grow, and they have seen it working in their children's education. Tasha's son was only 5 when he started school in the Federal Hocking School District. He is a senior now, and she has seen the school district drastically improve.
I've seen a lot of changes. It seems to be going for the better, from he's been through Federal Hocking from kindergarten up, so definitely a lot of changes, a lot more modern, a lot trying to definitely bring us full circle.
Torrance says he is looking forward to a board with fresh ideas. The first meeting after the election will be focused on the budget. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Chelsea Sick. Election day is a week from today. Polls will be open from 6:30 in the morning until 7:30 in the evening. The Foundation for Appalachian Ohio has a new gathering space located on the first floor of its building in Nelsonville. The FAO is a community foundation that works to create opportunities for local communities. FAO Vice President of Communications and Programming, Megan Wanzik, says the foundation will now be able to host community groups and nonprofit organizations. Funding for the new space came from the state of Ohio, People's Bank, the Osteopathic Heritage Foundation of Nelsonville, Nelsonville's Baird Stewart Foundation, and Buckeye Hill. Ohio University is investigating another report of rape Friday. The rape was reported at around 3:30 this afternoon at OU's Perkins Hall. The victims reported knowing the alleged assailant. The Ohio University Police made another arrest this weekend, this time charging a suspect in a menacing by stalking case. A felony charge was filed in Athens County Municipal Court against 19-year-old Akeem Mail of Zanesville. The alleged offense happened Friday around 11:30 p.m. at Sargent Hall on OU's West Green. A preliminary hearing is scheduled for November 6th.
While temperatures drop, precipitation will stay for a long time. Here in the Newswatch Weather Center, I'm Rachel Cherry. Current temperatures around the region are in the lower 30s, 42 degrees in Athens right now. Down south, temperatures rise up to 46 degrees in Ironton and 44 in Ripley. Westerly, we see warmer temperatures too, with 44 in Martinsville and 43 in Marietta. Up north, it drops to 40 degrees in Columbus, Newark, and New Lexington. Looking forward to the next 3 days, we'll see temperatures rise. 46 degrees on Monday. It will get up to 66 degrees on Wednesday, but drop down to 59 degrees on Friday. It will rain tomorrow and on Friday. On Thursday, skies will clear up a little and it will be partly cloudy. For the rest of the week, we are going to see a wet forecast, but thankfully, warmer temperatures too with a lot of humidity. And the week doesn't get better when we're looking forward. I'll have our 7-day forecast later on. Back to you, Chelsea.
All right, thanks, Rachel. Yet another Ohio city has filed its own lawsuit against prescription drug makers and distributors. Toledo Mayor Paula Hicks Hudson says drug companies need to be held accountable for their role in the opioid abuse crisis. The companies have denied wrongdoing in response to similar lawsuits filed around the country. This as State Attorney General Mike DeWine is urging the state of Ohio to do more to fight the opioid crisis. DeWine, who is running for the Republican nomination for governor, says he has 12 recommendations to fight the crisis, including legislation to give the governor the power to declare a public health emergency.
These are the drug distributors who flooded our state with pills that they knew far exceeded legitimate medical needs. We are asking them to come forward within 30 days as well, to begin serious discussions about paying their fair share.
A Marshall University football player has been suspended from the team indefinitely. 22-year-old Nathaniel Devers was charged with misdemeanor counts of obstructing, disorderly conduct, and public intoxication, and 2 counts of battery of an officer. It happened early Sunday morning. Police responded to call from a restaurant employee who said Devers and 3 other men refused to leave the restaurant. The 3 other men are also facing misdemeanor charges. The mother of a West Virginia inmate who escaped from a jail is facing charges tonight. This after police say she aided in his escape. Robin Helton is facing charges after she drove her son, Todd Boyce, to Texas, where he tried to cross into Mexico. Boyce was captured by Border Patrol agents Sunday morning. Jail officials say staff didn't realize the inmate walked out of the prison until later in the day. Boyce pleaded guilty to charges related to a 45-minute-long police pursuit in September. He made his escape 2 days before he was due to be sentenced on those charges. Boyce is being sent back to West Virginia. A drug screening is now mandatory for those in the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families program. The West Virginia Department of Health and Human Resources says they began screenings last week. It is part of a 3-year pilot program approved by the legislature last year, which received federal approval. Applicants for welfare assistance must complete a drug screening questionnaire. Those suspected of illegal drug use will be sent for drug testing. Those who do test positive will be referred to treatment, counseling, and a job skills program. A website in West Virginia may help residents find new jobs. West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin launched the site, which currently has 22 postings. The site also lists job fairs and guidance on resumes and cover letters. Manchin says he has co-hosted 25 job fairs throughout the state since October 2015. You can find the job listings on www.manchin.senate.gov. Possible cooperation from a Trump campaign volunteers help with the Mueller investigation. This story and more when Newswatch returns.
University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
Hey everybody, I'm Gridiron Glory host Joseph Payton. Every Friday night live at 11:30, we will have a jam-packed show for you with everything that went down on the local gridiron that night. From every touchdown pass to every crushing hit, Gridiron Glory is your #1 source for all things Southeast Ohio football. So please be sure to tune into our show and also follow us on Twitter and Snapchat at Gridiron Glory, and of course like us on Facebook. I promise you won't want to miss out, because remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Breaking news tonight out of New York City. 8 people are dead and dozens more injured in what NYPD is investigating as a deliberate attack. Senior officials on scene are treating the vehicle attack as terrorism. Earlier this afternoon, a truck drove the wrong way down the West Side Highway bike path.
Let me be clear that based on the information we have at this moment, this was an act of terror, and a particularly cowardly act of terror, aimed at innocent civilians, aimed at people going about their lives who had no idea of what was about to hit them.
The driver of the truck was shot by police and is now in custody. 22 people were injured after a head-on train collision in Costa Rica this morning. The 2 trains collided at the Costa Rican Central Valley. The Institute of Railways confirmed about 350 people were traveling in both trains. The director of firefighters of Costa Rica, Hector Chavez, and Costa Rican Red Cross spokesman Gerald Jimenez explained the drivers didn't handle the deviation the right way. A former Trump campaign manager and his deputy are under house arrest with a combined bail of $15 million. They are accused on money laundering and conspiring against the U.S. The 2 of them pleaded not guilty, but a third man, a former foreign policy advisor, admitted he lied to the FBI. Natasha Chen has the latest from Washington.
The White House on Monday distanced themselves from the indictments of former Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort and his deputy Rick Gates.
Today's announcement has nothing to do with the president, has nothing to do with the president's campaign or campaign activity.
The grand jury indictment for Manafort and Gates do not mention the Trump campaign.
There is no evidence that Mr. Manafort or the Trump campaign colluded with the Russian government.
But the men are accused of representing pro-Russian Ukrainian politicians before the campaign without disclosing that work to the U.S. Manafort and Gates' titles also come up in an affidavit charging a third man, George Papadopoulos. Papadopoulos was a foreign policy advisor for the Trump campaign who pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI.
Look, this individual was the member of a volunteer advisory council that met one time over the course of a year. I'd hardly call that some sort of regular advisor, or as you want to, push that he's like a senior member of the staff. He was not paid by the campaign.
Investigators wrote in the documents that Papadopoulos reached out to Trump campaign staff about his meetings with Russian contacts. Papadopoulos allegedly tried to set up a meeting between Trump campaign staffers and Russian officials. Trump's attorney Jay Sekulow said the president will not interfere as Mueller continues his work.
The president is not interfering with Special Counsel Mueller's position. He's not firing the special counsel. He said that before.
President Trump took to Twitter this morning to dispute Papadopoulos' claims. On Twitter this morning, Trump called his former campaign aide a liar, and the president isn't the only person casting doubt on Papadopoulos. Former Trump communications advisor Michael Caputo told CNN's New Day there's no way Papadopoulos had real information.
Never heard of Papadopoulos. He never showed up at Trump Tower, never had any interaction with any of the campaign leaders around me. And the leaders of the Washington office of the campaign didn't even know who he was until his name appeared in the press. The guy was the coffee boy.
Last year, Mr. Trump identified Papadopoulos as a campaign foreign policy advisor. House Republicans are expected to release the final version of their tax reform bill Wednesday afternoon. They've been working on the bill for some time, but members of the Ways and Means Committee were still hammering out the final details of the bill on Monday. The original plan had called for an end to a federal deduction for state and local property taxes. This provision is known as SALT, but many House members, especially in the Northeast, pushed back and leadership agreed to keep it.
Welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. Currently in Athens, we're seeing 42 degrees and winds, they're low at 1 mile per hour. We do have an average humidity 54% and a low pressure at 30.18. Across the region, we're seeing the same kind of temperatures at 42 degrees in Athens, like I said, but when you go north, 40 degrees in Columbus, Newark, New Lexington, Cambridge 41, New Martinsville we're 44. Down south in Ironton and Ripley, we do get a little bit higher with 46 in Ironton and 44 in Ripley, and 44 in New Martinsville and 43 in Marietta out west. Throughout the night, we will get a little colder in Athens, 41 degrees at 7 p.m., partly cloudy. That partly cloudy skies will stay the rest of the night. Towards 8 p.m., we will get colder at 38 degrees, so make sure you grab those jackets. At 9 p.m., it will drop to 35 degrees. So if you are not at the game right now, but hey, we have the Marching 110 during halftime, and if you didn't know, the Marching 110 will perform in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, so they're really good. If you do decide to go out, it will be 35 degrees. Nice skies again, partly cloudy, but it will be near freezing temperatures, so make sure you grab that coat while the OU Bobcats take on Miami for their hot Miami night. And then temperatures, they have been crazy all month, so we've had warmer, we've had colder, and that's really affected our fall foliage, and it's unfortunately past peak time for our fall foliage, so it's too late for those nice beautiful pictures. Or if you're sitting out in Peden and you're looking out, those trees will not have trees, or some of them will be green, some of them will be brown. And then moving forward, we have the almanac, and the temperatures today was high of 49 and a low of 30, which is a little lower for our high, but around our low for 42 degrees in our normal area. But look at 1950, 83 degrees. Wow. I wish we could have that compared to today. It was really, really cold. And 22 degrees is our record low. And if you didn't know, tomorrow the day will get shorter by over 2 minutes. So you better start enjoying those long days because they're starting to go a little shorter. So we have New Lexington is 30 degrees, and Athens is going to be 30 degrees tonight low, and then 34 degrees tomorrow when you send out your kids. They will need a coat. It will be a light rain, so make sure they have umbrellas, and it's going to be a little humid, so it might be a little hot with those coats. And then for the precipcast, we will have, you can see the green area, that is where all our rain is, and it is going to stick for the rest of the week. If you can see that little area, it's because the cold and hot pressure keeps moving back and forth, so it's going to stay in that area. Hour by hour tomorrow noon when you're getting your lunch, it will be cool, so you'll need a light jacket. It also will be raining, so make sure you have that umbrella. It will be a light rain, and it's going to continue to be chilly for the evening. And then for temperatures tomorrow, we will have 46 in Athens, 46 in New Lexington, and then looking forward to the 7-day forecast, we will have 66 degrees for the weekend, so that's really nice, but rain the whole way. So you will have to have your umbrellas, you will have to have light coats. Back to you, Chelsea.
All right, thanks, Rachel. Tonight is Game 6 of the World Series, and the Astros look to secure their first championship. Plus, the Ohio Bobcats have a Halloween matchup with the Miami Redhawks next. But first, here's a look at what happened on Wall Street.
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
Hey everybody, I'm Gridiron Glory host Joseph Payton. Every Friday night live at 11:30, we will have a jam-packed show for you with everything that went down on the local gridiron that night. From every touchdown pass to every crushing hit, Gridiron Glory is your #1 source for all things Southeast Ohio football. So please be sure to tune into our show and also follow us on Twitter and Snapchat at Gridiron Glory, and of course like us on Facebook. I promise you won't want to miss out, because remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
Aired through the second live Peden Stadium. It's Halloween. But the only thing the Bobcats are focusing on is displaying that potent offense. When it comes to scoring, Ohio is top 10 in the nation. Now, the Bobcats have only scored 42 points this year, and less in the 94th Battle of the Bricks. AJ Ule and Dorian Brown. Hey, Rachel, I'm going to toss it back to you.
Thank you, Eric. So this isn't the only MAC appearance on ESPN this week. Kansas City Chief and former Toledo running back Kareem Hunt leads NFL in rushing yards and had a task of handling the Broncos' strong rushing yards. Rushing defense, and he struggled. Hunt finished with only 46 yards on the ground, but no worries in KC. Marcus Feeder comes through with this fumble return for a touchdown. This was one of 5 Bronco turnovers on the night. They could not find a rhythm in tough Kansas City environment. The Chiefs go on to win 29-19. Okay, so Columbus Crew will have his first leg tonight at 8 p.m. at MAPFRE Stadium. Columbus Crew is going against Old Chimera, 18 goals, and New York Red Bulls, Bradley Wright Phillips with 18 goals. Keep your eye on the goal-scoring abilities of Old Chimera and Bradley Wright tonight. Tonight, Justin Verlander looks to lead the Houston Astros to their first championship. Game 6 of the World Series begins approximately at 8:20 p.m. I don't know how they're going to follow up the last game, but I don't know how they're going to follow up the game. 28 total hits, 25 runs, 10 innings, and an Astros 3-2 lead. The Dodgers have the home crowd tonight, as well as Game 7, if they are able to extend the series. The last thing expected was for Kershaw and Kutchel matchup to turn into a shootout. Predictions are out of the window. You just have to watch the game. These are moments these players dream of, and Verlander talked about what this meant for him.
These are the moments that you want to be a part of as a baseball player. I mean, it's everything you could ask for. Whether, like you said, Game 6, it's either, it's either win it to stay alive or win it to win it all. I mean, either way. It's going to be pretty intense.
Well, that's it for sports today, but you will see me back in weather. Back to you, Chelsea.
All right, thanks, Rachel. Doctors and researchers around the world are working to find better ways to prevent, detect, and treat breast cancer. In today's Health Minute, Mary Maloney explains some of the new technology being used.
There are many different types of breast cancer, and therefore many different types of treatment. Breast surgeon Dr. Preeti Shubadar from the Emory Winship Cancer Institute says breast cancer is not a death sentence and explains some new technology being used to diagnose.
There's definitely not a one-size-fits-all treatment for breast cancer. It really depends on the type of breast cancer you have in terms of the receptor status, how you present, and what additional treatments you're going to have. It used to just be surgery, radiation, chemotherapy. We're now moving into genomic testing driving our treatment decisions.
3D mammograms are also available in some centers.
We use 3D mammograms here at Winship for all of our screeners. It's better than a 2D mammogram because the picture quality is better.
Breast imaging radiologist Dr. Anna Holbrook says 3D mammograms also help cut down on false positives, in which a test result can incorrectly indicate breast cancer.
False positives scare women. They think they have cancer and they really don't. So they have to go through several days or weeks of worry that's not necessary.
For today's Health Minute, I'm Mary Maloney.
With the 3D mammograms and new testing, doctors will continue to be able to personalize and better treatment. We'll have a final look at your forecast next. And stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Hey everybody, I'm Gridiron Glory host Joseph Payton. Every Friday night live at 11:30, we will have a jam-packed show for you with everything that went down on the local gridiron that night. From every touchdown pass to every crushing hit, Gridiron Glory is your #1 source for all things Southeast Ohio football. So please be sure to tune into our show and also follow us on Twitter and Snapchat at Gridiron Glory, and of course like us on Facebook. I promise you won't want to miss out, because remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
The Cincinnati Zoo's Henry the Hippo, father of Fiona, died today after being sick for several months. The 36-year-old hippo had been struggling with health issues for months and had lost hundreds of pounds. All right, Rachel, let's take a look at final weather.
It'll be rain, rain, go away. This whole week, we're going to see a lot of rain. We will see a little pretty skies on Thursday. Back to you, Chelsea.
Thanks, Rachel. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Chelsea Sick.
Hey everybody, I'm Gridiron Glory host Joseph Payton. Every Friday night live at 11:30, we will have a jam-packed show for you with everything that went down on the local gridiron that night. From every touchdown pass to every crushing hit, Gridiron Glory is your #1 source for all things Southeast Ohio football. So please be sure to tune into our show and also follow us on Twitter and Snapchat at Gridiron Glory, and of course like us on Facebook. I promise you won't want to miss out, because remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and gridiron glory.